Hi, let's look at the part 4 of this video series where I'm covering the DP201 real exam questions. This certification exam is linked to designing Azure data solutions. Please remember these are all real exam questions and I'm going to demonstrate how to select the right option. So going through these videos will also clear your concepts and how to answer these questions, how to identify the right ones from the wrong ones. This is something which will be very clear in these videos. If you like my videos, please do definitely give a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. So this will keep me motivated to put on more videos for different sort of certifications. Like I told, it will take around 45 hours to complete this certification. So 2 to 3 hours per day for 15 to 20 days will help you clear this certification. Very important, please go through my videos because that will clarify your concept how to arrive at the right answer. So this is where you see 45 hours of total effort is needed. Now let's jump straight away to the questions. This is question number 1 of this video. So you are designing a solution for a company. The solution will use model training. So model training is a keyword, and this is for objective classification. So this is clearly model training is a ML use case, machine learning use case. Let's scan the options. So if you see among these, only Spark ML lib is looking to be correct. The Power BI models, these Power BI models is for reporting and analytics, is not for machine learning. So this model training is different from the reporting models. Hence this option is wrong. Let's look at interactive Spark queries, option C. The interactive Spark queries is just used to process the data, etc., or create data frames from a CSV file. It is not used for model training or any of the machine learning use cases. So we will strike out this option. Let's look at option B, a Spark streaming job. So Spark streaming job, it provides data stream processing. So it is similar to middleware where you can connect it with event hubs and process the data. This processes the event exactly once. It is not used for machine learning. It is just used to transport the data on real-time basis. Let's look at option A, an Azure Cognitive Services application. See, when we talk about cognitive services, this brings AI within the reach of every developer. This is not a machine learning, so it requires without requiring machine learning expertise. So you can do a lot of AI with this. So cognitive services also have machine learning, but how is cognitive services uh, different to machine learning? Let's look at it. So if you see here, I've put a search on the model and the machine learning, you can train the model, but in cognitive service you will have to work with a trained model. Okay, that's a difference. So here if you see it, so the model training using machine learning you have to do it, but cognitive service you have to work with trained model. However, there is one service that is I think vision service, which allows you to train a model. Like example, if you want to identify a flower in a picture, you can do that, but it's a very basic service. So we are striking this option A also. See, if you see this documentation, Apache Spark mlib is being used on Databricks. It can also be used on SG Insight. And if you see here, you can train models using, you can create machine learning models using this mlib. Okay, so you can also use scikit-learn, Spark mlib, and you also have deep learning models. Let's look at question number 2. So a company manufactures automobile parts. The company installs IoT sensors on manufacturing machinery. You must design a solution that analyzes data from the sensors. So this is the question. The keywords are in orange. The requirement is in blue. So at a high level, what do we get from the question is there are IoT sensors. That means there is some IoT data being sent. Whenever IoT data is being sent, Event Hub will come into play. Okay. So what is Event Hub? It is a big data streaming platform. It can receive and process millions of events per second. Data that is sent to Event Hub can be transformed and stored by using any real-time analysis provider, or batching storage. Now, what is real-time analytics provider? Like something like Streams, Azure Streams. They can receive this data. Now, what else the question asks for? Data must be analyzed in real time. So, if there is a requirement for real time, then Streams has to be put into play. Data queries must be deployed using continuous integration when there is a requirement for continuous integration. So, uh, you will have to use Azure pipelines. Okay. Now, what is Azure pipeline? It is a cloud service that can use to build and test our code project automatically. So continuous integration, continuous delivery. Okay. Now third requirement, it says data must be visualized by using charts and graphs. So that brings Power BI into picture. Power BI is the reporting tool. It is a self-service enterprise analytics solution. So the question is saying you have to choose three actions. Let's look at the options here. Azure, okay, option A, Azure Analysis Services to query the data. So using analysis service, you can create models and Excels and Power BI can use that model. But let's park this for now. Configure an Azure Event Hub to capture data to Azure Data Lake Storage. So the answer for this, I'll show you a diagram. So this is what should happen. You are having IoT sensors on the automobiles, and you so these IoT sensors, you have to develop some application to send this IoT data to Event Hub, and this Event Hub then sends that you can plug a real-time streams, Azure streams, on real-time basis. This will So we will also look at the options. So, but at a high level, what will happen is Azure Streams will then put the data to Azure Data Lake, and Azure Streams will also you can Power BI can create real time queries on Streams data. Now, first let's look at the requirements now. So it says data must be analyzed in real time. Is the data being analyzed in real time with the solution? Yes, real time data comes from here using IoT Hub to the Event Hub and to Streams, and then Power BI is analyzing it. So it's all real-time analysis. So that requirement is fulfilled. Data queries must be deployed using continuous integration. So I'm adding here Azure pipeline because using pipeline you can deploy any applications. Whatever you want, you can create a sequence to for continuous delivery. I already showed you in the documentation. It is used for continuous delivery or continuous integration. So our this requirement is also fulfilled. Data queries must be deployed using continuous integration. Data must be visualized by using charts and graphs. So we are using Power BI. So we are using Power BI here. It is capable of producing charts and graphs for visualization. Data must be available for ETL operations in the future. That's why we have kept this stream data in a data lake now, so that data bricks can perform ETL operations for future. The solution must support high volume data ingestion. Streams is meant for high volume. Event Hub is meant for high volume. Data lake is meant for high volume. Okay. Hence the options here are B, D, and E because it goes in sequence sort of. So you first create an application that sends the IoT data to your Azure Event Hub. So this one, the IoT data to your Azure Event Hub, this one. And then both can be in parallel. Develop Azure Stream Analytics application that queries the data and outputs to Power BI. Use Azure pipelines to deploy the Stream Analytics application. So we are putting Azure Streams here, and this fulfills that this is the answer we are talking about. We are plugging Power BI here, and we will use Azure pipeline for deployment of this. The third is configure an Azure Event Hub to capture data to data lake storage. That is this routine. We are capturing data to the data lake storage. In fact, this is what we are talking from the Event Hub. We will straight away put it in a data lake because there is no point from Event Hub putting to streams and then to data lake. For real-time analytics, we have this path, and for future ETL purpose from Event Hub, we can straight away put into data lake. So we have answered this successfully. I hope the justifications resonate with you. Let's look at uh, question number 3 of this video. Let's look at the question. You are designing a data processing solution that will implement the Lambda architecture pattern. So this is a keyword, Lambda architecture. The solution will use Spark running on HD Insight for data processing. So this is also a keyword. They are already using Spark on HD Insight. Obviously, with Lambda architecture, there are set of technologies like Cosmos DB and Spark for HD Insights, uh, and Cosmos DB change feeds can be used. So if you see this, it is mentioned here. So I'm on an article which says Lambda architecture using Azure Cosmos DB. Okay, and if you see here, the to implement uh, a Lambda architecture, you can use a combination of following technologies: Cosmos DB. You have this Cosmos DB, Apache Spark for Azure HD Insight, Cosmos DB change feed, and then a connector which connects your Spark to the Cosmos DB. So that's a connector. And what is Lambda architecture? If you see here, Lambda architecture, whenever data comes in, it follows the cold path and the hot path. So this is the cold path, and this is the hot path, and ultimately, finally, it goes on whichever way you can query you can. So at a high level, this these components here, they are similar to your ETL uh, data factory and etc. This is majorly real time streaming. You can use streams of or Kafka etc. and you can do a real time integration. So what is the pain point here? The problem statement is you need to recommend a data storage technology for the solution. Okay, they do not want to understand what technologies are included in Lambda architecture. They are already saying they are already using Spark. So what we saw is Cosmos DB and Spark for HD Insight. Now what they're asking is what is the data storage technology for the solution? And these are the options. Let's look at first option, Cosmos DB. So Cosmos DB would be correct because as we saw on that Azure documentation, we saw Cosmos DB and Azure Spark for SD Insight. So Cosmos DB itself is a database for data storage, so you can use that. So Cosmos DB looks correct. So let's look at Service Bus. So this is Azure Service Bus. So Azure Service Bus is a messaging service on cloud. Okay, it's a messaging service and can connect to any applications, devices, and services running on cloud. It's not a storage. Hence, I'm striking this off. Option C, Azure Storage Queue. So queue storage is a service for storing large number of messages. But since our answer says it, they are using Spark on SD Insight. So queue storage is not a part of that. So if you see SD Insight, so these are the options you have. Okay, and queue storage is not a part of SD Insight. And our question already says that they are running Spark running on SD Insight for data processing. So storage queue is not an option. I'll strike this off. Let's look at option D, Apache Cassandra. So if you see SD Insight, Cassandra is also not a part of this. Hence option D is also striked out. So that leaves us with E, and we need to choose two technologies. So Kafka SD Insight is left here. So if you see Kafka SD Insight, so we already rings SD Insight, and if you see from a storage perspective for real time, so for real time processing, uh, that storage is done by Kafka. If you see the documentation of Apache Kafka in Azure SD Insight, you can see that it uses Azure Managed Disks as backing store for Kafka. Managed disk can provide 16 terabytes of storage per Kafka broker. So your real-time data would be stored in Kafka. So this problem is solved. I hope the clarifications resonate with you, please subscribe to my channel. Let's look at question number 4 of this video. So the question goes this way. You are evaluating a data storage solution to support a new application. So the keyword is data storage solution. You need to recommend a storage solution that represents data by using nodes relationships in graph structures. Which data storage solution should you recommend? So what we understand about graph structures, wherever you have edges and vertices or nodes and relationships. Cosmos DB, under Cosmos DB we have Gremlin API, which is a straight fit for this question. I would not go into the details of others. Blob storage, for example, because we all know it is blob storage is used for storing images and video files. Data lake store is a big store of data. You can store your CSV, JSON files, and etc. for future processing, but it doesn't store the data sets as nodes and relationships. Even blob store is a file system. It doesn't store as nodes and relationships. And HD Insight is a different, totally different tool. It is not used for graph style storage. So option B, Cosmos DB would be my answer. So if you see this documentation, so this documentation you can see the nodes. Okay. So here there is a concept of nodes which is called vertices and edges in the graph. That's the graph style database, and this is a feature of Cosmos DB's Gremlin API. Hence this problem is solved. Let's look at question number 5 of this video. So you are designing an Azure Databricks interactive cluster. You need to ensure that the cluster meets the following requirements. Enable auto termination. So the ones in blue are the requirements, key requirements, and retain cluster configuration indefinitely after cluster termination. So start the cluster after it is terminated. This doesn't help because you do not need the cluster now, but in future you would want to maintain and rebuild it. So you'd want to store the cluster configuration indefinitely, even after cluster termination. So this cannot be an answer because if you spin a new cluster, it will cost you. Pinning the cluster, this seems logical, and there is an option to pin the cluster. So if you see the documentation, 30 days after a cluster is terminated, it is permanently deleted. To keep all-purpose cluster configuration even after a cluster has been terminated for more than 30 days, an administrator can pin the cluster. Up to 20 clusters can be pinned. So we got our answer, pin the cluster. I am striking out last two options as well because you cannot clone the cluster after it is terminated. You have to clone it before, and even that will not help you retain the configuration because that cluster will cost you money. And terminate the cluster manually at process completion. Even that would, whether you terminate it manually or you do auto termination, pinning the cluster is the only way to retain the configuration for a long time. So this brings us to the part 4, to the end of part 4. There will be many more videos as a part of this series. Please subscribe my channel and be tuned in to receive many more videos. Please remember that these are all real exam questions. Going through my videos will definitely help you clear the exam successfully. Please subscribe to my channel